सबसे चीप बनाना है, चीपेस्ट मॉडल। ध्यानेंद्र, तुम ज्वाइन कर लिए?
यस सर।
कैसा चल रहा है तुम्हारा क्विज का तैयारी?
सर सही चल रही है।
ओके। तो कोई डाउट वगैरह है तुमको किसी सब्जेक्ट में जिसको मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ?
सर अभी तक तो नहीं है सर, अगर आएगा तो आपको इन्फॉर्म कर दूंगा।
ठीक है, गुड। तो इसका मतलब कोई डाउट नहीं है, मतलब सब क्लियर है? तो यू हैव अंडरस्टूड एवरीथिंग। हाँ ध्यानेंद्र।
यस सर, सर अभी तक जितना पढ़ा उतना तो आ गया समझ में।
अच्छा। तो बताओ, प्री टेस्ट क्या अप्लाई करते हैं ध्यानेंद्र?
यस सर।
क्या अप्लाई करते हैं प्री टेस्ट में? नेक्स्ट तुम्हें ही हो, यू हैव टू मेक इट।
सर क्रीप टेस्ट में। सर
क्रीप टेस्ट में वीडियो
सर एक
देखा क्रीप टेस्ट का?
नो सर, सॉरी
हम्म।
सर, आई फॉरगॉट।
अरे पहली बार तो तुम सॉरी बोल रहे हो। ऐसे तो तुम्हारा कॉन्फिडेंस देख के मेरे को बड़ा अच्छा लगता है। बोलते हो नो सर विथ कॉन्फिडेंस, दैट इज सो गुड। कि सामने वाले कॉन्फिडेंस खत्म हो जाए।
सर वैसे क्रीप टेस्ट में सर एक स्ट्रेस वैल्यू अप्लाई करते हैं और मेजरमेंट लेते हैं टाइम के साथ।
अच्छा ये बताओ, स्ट्रेस कैसे अप्लाई करोगे? जैसे मेरे को मान लो दो 200 मेगा पास्कल लगाना है। तो
यस सर।
200 मेगा पास्कल जो है वो कैसे, स्पेसिमेन पे 200 मेगा पास्कल कैसे लगा रहेगा?
सर जितना लास्ट टाइम से याद है मेरे को, लास्ट टाइम के कोर्स से, सर उसमें
हम्म।
एक बेट यूज करते थे सर।
हम्म। क्या यूज
तो
करते थे?
एक बेट यूज करते थे, मतलब
बेट?
सर। यस सर।
बेट मतलब गोट?
डिफाइंड। यस सर, एक डिफाइंड अमाउंट ऑफ मास, तो उसके हिसाब से ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स जितना लगेगा तो करस्पॉन्डिंगली स्ट्रेस वैल्यू लगेगी।
अच्छा।
एटलीस्ट एनजीएस।
पर वेट तो फोर्स है ना?
सर एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन नोन होगा तो फिर स्ट्रेस वैल्यू,
हाँ
इंजीनियरिंग
तो
स्ट्रेस।
वो तो इनिशियल स्ट्रेस वैल्यू होगी।
सर
बाद में तो
इंजीनियरिंग स्ट्रेस
एरिया,
तो।
बाद में तो स्ट्रेस चेंज हो जाएगा।
यस सर।
फिर तो वो इक्विवेलेंट इंजीनियरिंग स्ट्रेस नहीं लगाते हैं कांस्टेंट, दैट डजंट मीन एनीथिंग। If you have constant engineering stress, it simply means that you are applying a constant force.
यस
Both
सर।
of them are same thing.
यस सर।
Hmm.
सर एक्सटेंसोमीटर यूज कर सकते हैं तो सर उससे हमें स्ट्रेन वैल्यू पता चल जाएगी, स्ट्रेन वैल्यू से सर इंजीनियरिंग स्ट्रेस में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं।
हाँ कर सकते हैं ये, ठीक है। गौरव क्या बना रहे हो ये? व्हाट इज दिस,
सर
फाइव?
पूरा सेटअप।
ये फाइव क्या लिखा है? और ये व्हाट इज दैट, डॉग बोन काइंड ऑफ थिंग?
नहीं सर, वो सैंपल है, वो डॉग बोन।
नहीं नहीं, जिसके अच्छा सैंपल लिखा है। अच्छा।
सर वो यूटीएम मशीन में पुल रॉड्स बनाया है, वो एक्सटेंशोमीटर के लिए जो सपोर्टिंग रॉड है वो बनाया है। एंड फिर वो फर्नेस होगी उसके बगल में एंड स्क्रीन बगल में होगी।
ये तो this is तो that machine which you have seen. What I wanted to make is a very cheap solution which you can make by your own, not just on the Jamboard. So like in reality you can make. इस मशीन को बनाने के लिए तुमको क्या क्या चीजों की जरूरत पड़ेगी? तुमको बहुत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक चीजों की जरूरत पड़ेगी, प्लस हाइड्रोलिक चीजों की जरूरत पड़ेगी। तो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक चीजें, कंट्रोलर वगैरह, ये सब तुम कर पाओगे खुद से?
नहीं सर।
तो इसीलिए तो तुमको क्रीप टेस्ट मशीन बनाने को बोला, उसमें इतना इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का एक्चुअली रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है। इफ आई हैव टू डू फॉर एग्जांपल फटीग टेस्टिंग, then I would need some control because I cannot do it without having good electronics कि एक cyclic loading लगती रहे constant frequency पे। ध्यानेंद्र, you got the idea?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, क्या क्या
So
idea?
what idea? So what idea, sir?
तो yes sir किसके लिए बोला?
Sir, I was asking what you are asking.
By saying yes sir. अच्छा, so I was asking, now I hope you are listening. I am asking you to make a drawing of the UTM, not UTM, creep testing machine, explaining all the parts which you can make in reality. You understand?
Yes, sir.
ज्यादा sophisticated नहीं होना चाहिए। क्या क्या कैसे कैसे बनाओगे, क्या क्या चीज खरीदोगे, ये सब बताओ।
Okay, sir.
क्या खरीदोगे, क्या खुद से बनाओगे, कैसे बनाओगे उसको, वो बताओ और ड्राइंग बनाओ। समझ में आया?
Okay, sir. Just a moment, sir. Sir, I need to connect with laptop.
ठीक है, कनेक्ट करो।
Okay, sir.
ओके, कुनिका कुनिका
Points from phone, sir.
अच्छा, अभी सब धीरे धीरे एस्केप रूट ले रहे हैं। इशिका, यू कम।
Yes, sir.
बनाओ। Are you coming on Jamboard? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Can I
tell
walk?
can you tell exactly what I need to do?
Okay. So I hope all of you are listening. I want you to make a drawing of a creep testing machine which you can make in reality if you have to make. So to make that, what things you will have to buy? So each part, whatever you're drawing on the Jamboard, tell me what it is, how will you get it in reality, and how will you make it? Each component of the machine. So पूरा machine खुद बनाना है। In reality खुद बनाना है, ऐसा imagine करो and then draw it.
Okay, sir.
Ishika,
Yes, sir.
क्या? Are you going to make or not?
Sir, actually, I did not see the last time's video. I'm just trying to recall and then make.
हाँ, तो रिकॉल करो और बनाओ। वीडियो में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। वीडियो में क्रीप टेस्टिंग मशीन बनाने के बारे में कुछ नहीं बताया गया है। So you just have to think what you need. So what are the boundary condition on a creep specimen, and how will you apply it? वो रियलिटी में एक एक्सपेरिमेंट करना हो तो कैसे करोगे क्रीप पे? Shirish, can you make? Shirish,
Yes, sir.
can you make it? Can you, if you can make it, come on the Jamboard and make it. बोलो.
Sir, I'm not sure it would work or not, but sir, what I think, sir, we need some a load, means एक ऐसा सिस्टम होना चाहिए जो लोड अप्लाई करे, देन एक ऐसा सिस्टम हो जो
अरे बनाओ सोच के बनाओ, श्योरिटी का कुछ नहीं है.
सर फर्नेस में पैक करके.
चलो बनाओ जो चाहिए वो बनाओ. Come to the board, Shirish.
Yes, sir, just a second.
And in MM311, all of you left after the break. There were only 2 guys. What happened to the rest of you? Abhi rest of you, man, nobody will respond. Kunika, what happened on Monday?
सर बाहर जाना था सर.
क्लास के समय बाहर जाना था. ठीक है, अच्छी बात है. रंजल, तुम आए थे कि नहीं आए थे फर्स्ट सेशन में?
Yes, sir.
You were there Monday and then you left after break. Why did you leave?
Sir, I was having my breakfast.
तो
So
वो
serious,
ब्रेक
sir.
जो 30 मिनट्स का ब्रेक था, उसमें ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं कर पाए?
No, sir.
Shaharsh, what happened to you?
Sir, I was not feeling well, sir. I didn't even come to first session also.
Okay. शिरीष, तुमको क्या हो गया था?
सर मैं था सर, ब्रेक के बाद शायद से सर मैं नहीं आया था.
हाँ, वही बोल रहा हूँ मैं, ब्रेक के बाद की बात कर रहा हूँ. ब्रेक के बाद क्यों नहीं आया? तुमको क्या हो गया उस समय?
सर ब्रेक के बाद सर मैं ब्रेकफास्ट कर रहा था.
करो ब्रेकफास्ट करो तुम लोग. ये क्या बना रहे हो बताओ?
Sir, I am trying to make it.
Oh, you are making. So can 2 guys make at the same time?
Yes, sir, on different sheets.
Different sheet. एक ही शीट में नहीं बना सकते.
Yes, sir, एक में भी बना सकते हैं.
तो बनाओ. क्या नाम है? शिरीष, you take half and make. ये कौन है? तिशिका आ रही है इधर. नहीं इशिका का ये साइड है. Shirish, are you going to make or not?
Yes, sir. I am not getting access of Jamboard, sir. How to?
Why? Why are you not getting? तुम्हारा सर को ऐड करते हैं. Try now. Suraj, you have access, you can try.
Yes, sir.
Ishika has stopped. Shirish has joined. Wait for some time now. So today you will get the experimental data for the creep experiment at single temperature, 3 different stress values. Okay. And these experiments were performed on a steel of 1.4301 grade steel. So find out from, and I hope all of you are listening because I will not repeat this. So repeat it, aisa nahi hoga. You will see in the recording either or not. So the steel grade is 1.4301. Find it out on the internet what it is. Composition kya hai? Microstructure kya hai? Is it a stainless steel or not? If it is a stainless steel, what kind of stainless steel it is? So ये सारी information आप निकालिए. Then experimental data is there. So Young's modulus and other things you will come to know because you know the steel grade. So steel grade, commercial steel grade hai. So for that you have all the information. Then you have the strain values and time values in the experimental data sheet. So you can simply plot strain versus time, then you can calculate the strain rate versus time, and then you can find out what is the minimum creep rate or minimum strain rate is minimum creep rate basically. And then you can draw that strain versus time curve. You should plot it on the single plot stress value, then you will observe what is happening. This is changing. Okay. So you will have the instructions on what to present in the lab report, which you have to submit next week for the creep one. LCF का तो अभी तक किया नहीं होगा. So LCF you submit on the date of the Viva. And if you cannot decide it until Friday, then I put it somewhere in the next week. Next week meaning in the week of 22nd to 26th. So Friday तक आप मेरे को एक date decide कर दो. Otherwise, then I will decide the date. And you should decide it for both the labs, 311 and 304. Okay, so Ishika, I'm seeing you have a frame on the lower side. Uske baad sample, the upper part is hanging in the air. ये क्या लिख रहा है सूरज? WI is equal to XKY. What is it?
सर लाइक एक बकेट ली, उसको वो वायर है, उसको बकेट से लाइक बकेट को वायर से कनेक्ट कर दिया. उसमें इनिशियल वेट x kg है. अब उसमें हम वेट इंक्रीज करते जाएंगे कांस्टेंट रेट से.
ये तो तुम लियोनार्डो दा विंची वाला टेस्ट ड्रॉ कर रहे हो. टेम्परेचर कैसे लगाओगे?
सर सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म ही था.
सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म था, इसलिए तो विंची ने किया था 200-500
Yes,
साल
sir.
पहले. But we have developed a little bit, no? So you can buy little things. You can't make electronics, but you can of course put some induction coil around it and make a furnace around it.
Yes, sir.
Or instead of XKD, you can put the gym weights, you can put in a wire, use a fulcrum like Ishika is using. And देखो अब इसने furnace draw कर दिया. Good. So if you have to buy a creep testing machine, it will cost you a lot. And if you have to make one, it will not cost you much in comparison to what you will have to pay for a machine. सब कुछ है इसमें. Weight is something which is kept on the specimen, but you should also measure it. That how much the specimen is feeling, what weight is felt by the specimen. That also you should measure. ठीक है, good enough. So previously, because there were new things to be observed, nobody knew. So there was no existing way of measuring things. For example, if you remember Newton's gold leaf experiment, तो इलेक्ट्रॉन की वजह से या पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव चार्ज की वजह से रिपल्शन अट्रैक्शन हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है, दिस थिंग टू मेजर दिस थिंग, देयर वाज नो commercially existing equipment then. So somebody has to think about, if I have to measure this property, what should I make? So they make that experiment of gold leaf experiment. There are many famous experiments which are still being used and refined. So if you have heard of Young's double slit experiment in physics, what happens there? Anyone remembers? किसी को आइडिया है डबल स्लिट यंग्स डबल स्लिट एक्सपेरिमेंट में क्या होता है?
So interference of
फ्रिंजेस बनते हैं।
तो डिफ्रैक्शन पैटर्न को ऑब्जर्व करते हैं.
गुड. सो ऑल थ्री, कुनिका, गौरव एंड सहर्ष, तीनों में से या तो तीनों आ जाओ या कोई आ जाओ एंड ड्रॉ इट. व्हाट इज यंग्स डबल स्लिट एक्सपेरिमेंट एंड व्हाट डू यू सी आफ्टर इट? सहर्ष बताओ क्या होता है उसमें? Who is this? Shaharsh?
Yes, sir.
थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करो क्या हो रहा है.
सर ये स्लिट है, बहुत छोटे, स्मॉल डी, और ये है ये कैपिटल डी, और
कैपिटल डी क्या है?
नो सर ये कुछ नहीं सर, इसको ये डिस्टेंस है कैपिटल डी, और जो स्मॉल कैपिटल डी है वो बहुत बड़ा है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू स्मॉल डी. बस, और फिर यहाँ से हम पैरेलल बीम ऑफ लाइट को इंसिडेंट करा रहे हैं स्लिट पे, और उसके बाद यहाँ डिफ्रैक्शन हो रहा है, और इधर सिमिलरली ऐसे यहाँ पे, और यहाँ पे फ्रिंज बन रहा है, मतलब डार्क फ्रिंज, फिर लाइट फ्रिंज, फिर अगेन डार्क फ्रिंज, फिर मतलब अल्टरनेट बनते जा रहा है. जहाँ पे कंस्ट्रक्टिव इंटरफेरेंस हो रहा है वहाँ ब्राइट फ्रिंज बन रहा है, और जहाँ डिस्ट्रक्टिव इंटरफेरेंस हो रहा है वहाँ डार्क फ्रिंज बन रहा है.
राइट. Okay. So you explained it in a very good way. So these are the two slits which Shaharsh drew, and then you have a detector at the end. And then you pass whatever subatomic particle or light, and if they act like waves, then you have two different waves, and these waves will have, so at these points, at some of these points, you will have the crest of the wave meeting with the valley of the another wave. So these two will cancel out. That will be destructive interference. If you have the crest of one wave meeting with crest of another wave, then you have a constructive interference, right? So this is what will happen. Erase के नहीं होता है. Anyways, so because of this, so if I put a detector here, so you will have, so you can just cut it here also. So you see there will be brightness here, and then here there will be dark, here there will be dark, here there will be bright. So wherever you have this phenomena, you have a bright pattern. Wherever you have this phenomena, you have a dark pattern. So what you will see on the detector will be lines, right? तो इतना जोन ब्राइट होगा, उसके बाद डार्क होगा, उसके बाद फिर ब्राइट होगा, उसके बाद फिर डार्क होगा, ऐसा होगा. This is what you expect. And why do you expect it? Because the thing is behaving like a wave, right? And because both, so the light is passing through both the slits at the same time. So you have waves which are interfering, right? Now, if you shoot one electron at a time, what do you think will happen? Shash, बताओ.
सर सिर्फ एक ही इलेक्ट्रॉन है?
हाँ, just one piece of electron.
तब तो सर वो डायरेक्टली स्क्रीन पे कोलाइड करा जाएगा सर, मतलब.
So what will you see on the screen?
एक ब्राइट फ्रिंज बस.
एक ब्राइट फ्रिंज मतलब ऐसा पूरा लाइन, ऐसा पूरा लाइन?
नहीं सर, लाइन एक स्पॉट दिखेगा हमको.
एक स्पॉट दिखेगा ऐसा somewhere, है ना? And if I throw let's say 20,000 electrons at a time, then what will happen?
Then possibly बैंड दिख सकता है.
मतलब जैसा बैंड अभी बनाया है वैसा ही दिखेगा.
Yes.
Okay. So one electron at a time, I will get a single point. If I shoot 20,000 electrons, but each electron one at a time, so I repeat the experiment 20,000 times, what will I see on the detector?
So I think single electron also we will get the fringes, but the intensity would be low.
Okay. गौरव, तुम क्या बोल रहे थे?
तो मेरे ख्याल से अगर वन एट अ टाइम 20,000 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को बॉम्बार्ड करे तब भी डिफ्रैक्शन पैटर्न दिखना चाहिए.
मतलब जैसा ऐसा पैटर्न दिखेगा, डार्क और लाइट और डार्क और लाइट वैसा. बट क्यों ऐसा क्यों दिखेगा? Because each electron is making single point, and then 20,000 will make this wave pattern, right?
क्योंकि मे बी इलेक्ट्रॉन को फाइंड करने की प्रोबेबिलिटी तो है ना.
You know the answer.
ये
शिरीष, बताओ.
Yes sir.
बताओ, तुमने सुना क्वेश्चन कि नहीं सुना?
Sir, can you repeat one?
So question is, if I shoot one electron, what will it make on the detector? Just a second. Yeah, Shirish. So if you
अगर सर सिंगल इलेक्ट्रॉन केवल पास होगा तो सर इलेक्ट्रॉन सर मींस सर सुपर इम्पोज करेंगे ही नहीं, मींस उनके. हाँ, तो सर कहाँ से कोई पैटर्न बनेगा?
Okay. So I will tell you the answer. So the answer is, so the question you have to ask is, if you are passing 20,000 electrons at a time, 20,000 electrons at a time, they are behaving, let's say, like waves. But if you are shooting one electron at a time, how are they behaving? Are they behaving like a particle or they are behaving like a wave? एक सिंगल इलेक्ट्रॉन कैसे बिहेव करेगा? इसका क्या आंसर है? क्या लगता है तुम लोगों को? गौरव?
इलेक्ट्रॉन तो पार्टिकल जैसा ही बिहेव करना चाहिए.
Particle. Pranjal?
So if it will strike a slit, it would act as a wave also.
Come again?
So it would act as a wave if it could do the diffraction. I mean,
नहीं,
That
एक
is the-
single electron will act like a wave or it will act like a particle. What is your answer?
सब मेरे ख्याल से वेव जैसा ही करना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो स्लिट की डायमेंशन हम रखते हैं दैट इज वेरी क्लोज टू दी वेवलेंथ ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रॉन.
Wavelength of the electron, that is
मतलब-
okay, but if I'm shooting one electron at a time, electron will pass through the slit, right?
यस सर.
So it will pass through the slit like a particle or it will pass through the slit like a wave.
सर आई फील वेव जैसे ही करना चाहिए.
सिंगल इलेक्ट्रॉन अगर मान लो वो वेव बनता भी है तो वो इंटरफियर किस वेव के साथ करेगा?
नहीं सर, वो सिंगल है तो वो इंटरफेयर नहीं करेगा, बट फिर भी वो वेव जैसा होना चाहिए.
सर देन अगर इंटरफेयर नहीं करेगा तो हाउ कैन वी से इट इज वेव?
नहीं, इंटरफेयर नहीं करेगा. देयर विल बी अ सिंगल वेव. इफ देयर आर टू वेव्स कमिंग फ्रॉम टू स्लिट्स.
बट सर हमने जब पता लगाया था कि इलेक्ट्रॉन बहुत वेव और पार्टिकल की तरह बिहेव करता है, तो सर उसका एक रीजन ये इंटरफेरेंस ही था, डिफ्रैक्शन पैटर्न.
करेक्ट. वो
And
तो
sir, जब
that
एक
was
single
the original experiment.
यस सर, बट एक इलेक्ट्रॉन शूट करेंगे तो कोई इंटरफेरेंस नहीं होगा. और सर हाउ कैन वी कंफर्म दैट वेदर इट इज बिहेविंग लाइक वेव और पार्टिकल?
सर इधर मुझे लगता है वी कैन नॉट स्टॉप द इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्रॉम नॉट इंटरैक्टिंग विद द स्लिट इटसेल्फ. अब अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन स्लिट के थ्रू जा रहा है तो वो इतनी क्लोज विसिनिटी में है कि वो इंटरैक्ट करेगा ही, एंड वो वेव के फॉर्म में करना चाहिए.
and so a primary waveform will always act as a source for secondary one, so
Yeah.
it would act as a wave.
Yeah. So all of you have given answers, part of answers, and very correct. So the initial experiment was to find out if it is behaving like a wave or it is behaving like a particle. And light was supposed to be a wave for many, many years. People thought that light is a wave. But that phenomena which happens, which is called photoelectric effect. So if you put ultraviolet rays on a gold leaf experiment, then the two gold leaf will collapse. That means it is knocking the electrons out. And that cannot be done by very high amplitude light waves. So ultraviolet waves से होता है, पर if you put very, very bright red waves, so a lot of intensity, but still you are putting red light on it, it will not do nothing. So it will not be able to knock out the electrons. So there the solution was given by Einstein, suggesting particle form of light. So that was a weirdity which came into that light can also act like a particle. And then electrons were supposed to be particles. But then from this experiment, it was clear that they can also act like waves. ठीक है, तो ये boundary बहुत blur है. So now in recent times, sophisticated experimentation allows to shoot one electron at a time. And when you shoot one electron at a time, what you see on the detector, I do not know who told, you will see, I think Shaharsh told, so you will see a point. It will pass through and it will hit. You do not know how it passed through it, what happened there. You can only know things on the detector. So detector, you will get a point, right? If you shoot 20,000 electrons at a time, you will see diffraction patterns. So you will see dark and bright bands. If you shoot one electron at a time, you will see a point. But if you keep on shooting this one electron at a time for 20,000 times or more, then all these points will fall on the pattern which supposedly would have formed. You know what I mean? So all these electrons will fall on the bright things, and there will be a place where no electron will fall. So that will become dark. And you will, at the end, you will again see the dark and bright pattern, as if this phenomena did not happen one at a time, but it happened at a time. So the question is how the 20,000th electron knows that before me all the electron has followed this rule and I should follow that. But there is no spooky information passing between electrons. This was a confusion for Einstein, so he thought that.
Sir, hello, sir. Sir, but sir, can we really say that it is just because of wave nature of electron? Because
yes,
sir, यहाँ कोई interaction हो नहीं रहा है, and
yeah, I will come to that. So this pattern is a signature of interference. There is no doubt about it. So if you see something like this, there is no question. So as far as we know so far, of course, science, so of course, at some point of time, if it might be proven that Earth is flat. So I do not know what will happen then. But so far we know that if you see this kind of pattern, it is coming because of interference, and it is a proof of a wave nature. There is no doubt about it so far. Okay, what is happening according to Niels Bohr, and which is now an accepted philosophy, and then it was not an accepted philosophy, that electron, so electron you can imagine it as a spinning coin. So when a coin is spinning, it doesn't have any definition of head and tail until you put your hands on it and then you see what it is. So either it is a head or a tail, but only when you are looking at it by stopping it with your hands. But unless you stop it, and as the coin is spinning, it doesn't have any definition of head. It is both, if you can imagine in that way. It is none, because it doesn't know this like head and tail for it. So even a single electron, yeah.
Sir, how this experiment is being done, like whether 20,000 electrons are being constantly, means continuously they are being shot, or they are first have been shot then lag. Sir, because तब तो एक ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि सर एक इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ से बेंड होके longer path लेता है and दूसरा straight आता है, then there can be a possibility of interference. Because sir,
नहीं. So electron can pass through at a time. It can pass through from both the slits.
Yes, sir. But I am saying that what if a electron takes longer path and another electron takes shorter path, and if they are being shot continuously, then there might be a chance of interference. So maybe that's why we are getting this kind of pattern.
That is true. But this experiment has been repeated n number of times to prove this idea. Okay, I do not know the interval between shooting two electrons, but you can also check it. It is an open forum. I can also check it and share it with you. So, so this has been done many times with different amount of intervals, different number of electrons, different number of particles also, not only electrons. Okay, so reproducibility is without doubt about it. So there is no question that it is happening because of short interval between two electrons, shooting two electrons. Okay. So in this, so electron is not a wave, not a particle, as long as we try to hit it. So we try to know it by some phenomena. So, and when we try to measure it, as Gaurav was saying, So that is the idea of uncertainty principle, that if you want to measure one thing, you cannot know another thing. There is always some amount of uncertainty involved. And once you measure it, you also change the particle because you are interacting with it. So electron or subatomic particles are neither wave nor a particle, or you can imagine that they are both at the same time. This was the idea of Niels Bohr. And as soon as there is a detector which stops it, it becomes a particle. But before that, it was both. So one electron doesn't need a slit to pass through. It can actually pass through without a slit also. That is called tunneling effect. So electron can tunnel through very thin walls. So it doesn't need a hole or something to go through, to pass through it. There is no need of a slit. Okay, all right. So ये fundamental physics में बहुत सारे ऐसे experiments हुए हैं, which is, so हम जो experiment करते हैं आज की डेट में, those are very commercial experiments. So that's why you have a lot of machines which are already available, and we and others also don't put a lot of brain into it in the instrumentation part. But it's not like in the 1920s or so. Even in 40s, even in 60s, you will see there were a lot of experiments which are actually genuine experiments. So they are done in a way that no machine existed before that which could do it. So I told you one in the fracture mechanics where you just bolt a screw in the specimen. So you bolt a screw here, or you can bolt two screws. So you bolt a screw, tighten it, which means you are applying some amount of force. So you don't actually need a machine for it. इस स्क्रू को यहाँ से जो है वो टाइट करके ओपन कर दिया, so that you apply some amount of stress like this. You opened it and then you put it in a hot chamber or in a corrosive environment. And because of corrosion, the resistance of the material will go down and a crack will start propagating. And that crack will stop when the sigma, the applied sigma because of the bolt, becomes smaller than what is needed for the crack to propagate. So this is an experiment which doesn't require any machine. But the problem with this is you only know the initial and final condition. You don't know how, so while the crack was propagating, how much stress was decreasing, or what was the profile of the stress decreasing. There was another experiment by Zener-Holloman on strain rate effect, and they have done a very nice experimentation where they proved that the effect of strain rate is equal to as if you are lowering the temperature. So these two phenomena are completely different thing, but by doing that experiment, they came to know that, similar to Maxwell, although not that fascinating as Maxwell did, that electrical phenomena are equivalent to magnetic phenomena. So then you come up with the theory of electromagnetism. Similar to that, Zener-Holloman found that if you increase the strain rate, same effect you see as if you are lowering the temperature of the specimen. And these kind of experiments ask a lot of questions to the researcher or to the person who is either doing it or reading it. So if A is equal to B, so the results are, and there is a part of the lecture from Feynman, Richard Feynman, where he says that in his time he is saying, and that it is true even now, that if a theory A, so if a theory A proves an output C, and another theory B proves an output C, and these two outputs are exactly same, and theory A is a very simple theory. It doesn't have a lot of mathematics. It has very fundamentalism in it, and it explains the things very clearly. B, on the other hand, is a very complex theory. It needs a lot of mathematics. It needs maybe 100 parameters. A needs maybe 5 parameters. But the results from these two theories are exactly same. How will you know that which theory is correct? There is no answer to it. Because how will you check the theory is correct? By the output, and output is exactly same. So how will you know that? So if there is a phenomena which is being followed by some entity in the world, how will you know that it is reaching to that output following which path? And to answer these questions, a lot of things has happened before. So for instance, quantum entanglement was a very spooky phenomena for Einstein. So he couldn't fathom that this can happen. Any information can pass through faster than light. And also Niels Bohr couldn't prove it. So it was just sheer argument. Nobody can prove anyone wrong or right. And there is another phrase for it, I have told you maybe, it's called Freudian theory. A theory which cannot be proved, neither it can be disproved, is a Freudian theory. It makes no sense. But of course, for some people, it does make sense.
Sir, it is like paradox.
No. Paradox is different. Paradox is a kind of puzzle. Like, for example, you have twin paradox. Twin paradox is what? If you have identical twins, it doesn't have to be identical twins. If you have twins on planet Earth, and one of the twin goes to space, moves around, comes back with the speed of light. So for the another guy who left planet Earth is moving with the speed of light. So his own time has been delayed. His own time has been slowed down. Time dilation has happened, right?
Sir, but how for the guy on Earth?
Come again?
Sir, I was asking, sir, you said the guy on the Earth, he too would experience the change. So how would it happen?
No, guy on Earth will not experience. Guy on Earth will experience the same thing, what is happening on Earth to everyone else. Yeah? And the guy on Earth, the other twin of that guy. So, okay. So twins are there. A and A transpose. These are two twins. So one pair of twin. And A remained on Earth. And A transpose went to space. Okay? Took a long trip and came back on Earth. So he traveled with the speed of light. Okay? With the speed of light or greater than it. And A did not travel because he was on Earth. He didn't travel. Maybe he traveled to some nearby places, but of course not with the speed of light. A transpose traveled, and while he was traveling with the speed of light, his own time might have been delayed because time dilation will happen if you are moving with a velocity closer to light. So time has been slowed down. So A transport is not aging much. So even though for A transpose came back to Earth after 20 years, A transpose had not aged by 20 years, although A has aged to 20 years. So A will be 20 years older when A transpose comes back to Earth, and because he is traveling with the speed of light, he can come back in maybe 5 minutes or so. But he comes back in 5 minutes, but this guy has aged. So on Earth, 20 years has passed. But for A transpose, only 5 minutes has passed. So this is one of example of the paradox. So paradox is not.
So, sir,
yeah.
Sir, does it matter how much time have you elapsed? It's more about how much change has been taken place in that period of time. Whether
it is. Yeah. Now you are going in a philosophical direction. It is perspective. Okay, so if you are not also philosophical, it is also realistic.
No, sir, I'm just saying, sir, we use time just to measure the change here, means what is occurring around us, just to notice whether things are changing with or not. So for that we use time. So sir, अगर उतना change 5 minutes में हो जा रहा है and उतना change 20 साल में हो जा रहा है, तो सर बस सर माय क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट इफ सर जो लाइट की स्पीड से चल रहा है सर सेम चेंज जो अर्थ पे जो आदमी बैठा है उसके लिए 20 साल में हो रहा हो एंड सेम चेंज उस कंडीशन में 5 मिनट में हो जा रहा हो सर देन
या सो ओके So the change, okay, so let me describe in a different way. And it is actually very fascinating that, not fascinating, but coincidental maybe, that we can use the same explanation. So what is happening is, the change you are talking about is aging. And that aging is not just because, so it is not that a transport has not aged or aged by 5 minutes. But the change is, if you do really, if you do this experiment, it is not possible to do it, but if you do it, you will not see just the change because of aging, because of time. You will see a lot of changes if you really do this experiment. Yeah, if somebody is traveling with the speed of light, then his body will decay like anything. Within fraction of seconds, it will decay. So you will actually, so this is not possible, you will not see anything. If somehow it is an unmanned craft and it travels with the speed of light and then comes back, then also there will be a lot of changes because the gravitational field is changing and the body or the materials, they respond to the environment they are in. So if you keep one object on Earth, there will be changes also, not because of time, but because of environment. And that environment is changing for A transpose much, much faster than what is happening to A. So what you are trying to say, Shirish, is this, that if we are bothered about the changes, if that is important to us, then even then it matters how much amount of time has been taken. So let us say the parameter which I want to describe is the rate of change in A and A transpose. Then rate of change in A is much slower in comparison to A transpose. So it is just dependent on what we are interested in. What is our perspective, our important thing, our reference frame. Okay, and that is the answer to this paradox, which is twin paradox. So I was trying to say that paradoxes are not like the same theory giving same output. Paradox is a puzzle which people cannot solve for some time, so they name it paradox. In this case, it is the solution lies in the reference frame. So because we are looking from the reference frame of A on Earth, for A, it will be that A transpose is taking just 5 minutes. But if you look at from the reference frame of A transpose, then for him, same amount of time has passed for A also. Although I'm also not so clear about the solution at this point of time. But because A is moving with the speed of light, his time is so slow that his 5 minutes is equivalent to 20 years of A. You know what I mean? So for A, 5 minutes is passing as it would pass for me, for Ishika, for Gaurav, for any one of you. Because we all have the same clock and that clock is moving with the same speed. So the time interval is same for us. But for A transpose, because he is moving with the velocity of light, he has a different clock because his time has been delayed. That means his 1 second is much, much slower than our 1 second. Okay. So although for him only 5 minutes has passed, those 5 minutes for A transpose were so slow that it was equivalent to 20 years of us for A transpose. Now imagine it in this way, that you are light and you are traveling with the speed of light. You are traveling the fastest in the world. How will the world feel to you? What will you see? You will see nothing. You will see no movement. You will see the whole universe stand still. It will be pretty boring if you are light. But why you are seeing another perception of that is because you are traveling so fast that no events are happening fast enough so that you can realize it. Actually, if you are light, then you cannot see any event, because to see any event you need light, and you are one. So that is a different issue. But if you are traveling with the speed of light, then what is time? Time is difference between an event which happened now and an event which happened, let's say, after some time. And how do you know that this event happened at this particular amount of time, this event happened that particular amount of time? You know it by observation. If you do not have an observer, you do not have an event. Even if you have an event, you don't know if it happened or not. So if you are traveling with the speed of light, your time is so slow that you don't see anything happening. Everything is stand still. Nothing is moving because your time is so slow. And you traveled for 5 minutes for the guy on the planet Earth, but you traveled the whole universe seeing nothing. And it would be like 20 years for you because your time is so slow. You understand? I do not know if you can imagine it or not. But this is just a change in reference frame and time dilation which solves this twin paradox. And we were not bothered about this twin paradox. I was saying that if there are two theories giving you the same output, there is no way of finding out which theory is the real one. And to answer these kind of questions, there has been many experiments. And many so good experiments that even we don't do it, but even just reading about those are good. So for example, the Michelson's and Morley's experiment, which disproved that there is any ether in the space. So people used to believe that there is some kind of liquid in the space in which all the objects are floating. And that liquid was named ether. And there was an experiment which disproved that there is nothing like it in the space, and it is completely nothing. There's completely nothing in the space. And now people are saying that there is something in the space which is called dark matter, and you cannot see it. You can only observe it by gravity. So then if dark matter was ether, or so those people who actually believe that in ancient years we were like gods or something, then obviously those conspiracy theories and a lot of things can form around that. But that is a different thing. So the question is not the question, but the beauty of science is even now it lies in solving questions, and how do you solve a question depends upon how do you measure it. And they fall short when you come across things where measuring is impossible. So in quantum field, you cannot measure anything because you are measuring and you're disturbing the particle. So we are stuck there, and you have to find out a way how to do it. Yeah, Shaharsh, you wanted to say something? No? Shaharsh, you wanted to say something or not? Okay. Fine then. So you will have the experimental data. Give me the date for the Viva 304-311 by this Friday. And what else? Let me see if I have. So you are planning to keep it in April first week or in the last week of March?
So most probably one in the last week of March and one in April first week. But मैं आपको बता दूंगा Friday के पहले.
ठीक है, तो last week of March में you can, so MM311 we can use the slot on Monday for the lab slot we can use. 9 to 12 वाला जो slot है वो use कर सकते हैं. Monday को और कोई slot भी use कर सकते हैं. I don't see anything in the calendar. 23 you can use completely. 30 you can use completely. So 23, 25, 23, 25, 26 also you can use. 26 you can use in the first half. Okay, and 30 you can use. 31 also you can use. 31 also you can use for first half. So before 2:30 or so you can use it on 31st. 30 you can use, 29 you can use. Okay, so these dates you can use. Fine then. So we will see you on Friday.
सर सैटरडे संडे नहीं रखना है ना?
नहीं, सैटरडे संडे नहीं रखना है. Okay. So then we end this session and you will have all the data on the Google Classroom with the instruction. ठीक है, इसका लैब रिपोर्ट आपको नेक्स्ट वीक सबमिट करना है. Okay. If you have no questions, we can end it. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you.